Okay, so Man United, guys, obviously we're working on a couple of things right now. We're working on Bryan Mbeumo. That situation is expected to be concluded around about the 1st of July. So that's really the latest on that. Man United have obviously submitted an improved offer. We know that last night. We jumped on and covered the breaking news that United had submitted an offer somewhere in the region of 60 to 65 million pounds for Bryan Mbeumo. It's expected that the structure of the deal will probably be something along the lines of 55 plus 10. So, or somewhere in that region. So that's what's expected at the moment. Obviously, Brentford are going to have to make a decision in the coming hours and days. And sorry, bloody car alarm going off out there for a second. Anyway, and yes, it's expected that they'll be making the decision in the coming hours and days. And in my opinion, they'll probably accept it because it is a good offer from Manchester United, this one, 65 or 63 million, somewhere in that region. They don't want to risk the idea of maybe losing the deal, of us walking away, of us changing our targets, because there are lots of other players that we could focus our attentions on. People like Kluivert, people like Semenyo, Easy, lots of different options for Manchester United, even so much as maybe now Bruno's staying, you don't necessarily even need to get a number 10. Obviously, you could maybe reinvest somewhere else in the team, like the central midfield, get a proper 6 or something. But obviously, we're not looking to do that, guys. We're looking to get Mbeumo done. But the reason I'm saying that, Brentford know that Manchester United do have some other options, and if they don't want to accept this offer now, then they've got a player who doesn't want to be there. They've also got a player who probably won't be as good for them this season if he does stay, and they won't realistically get the same figure from anyone else that Manchester United are going to give them. So this deal is looking tasty, guys. Come on. It's looking like, in my opinion, we're going to be seeing Mbeumo announced reasonably soon, probably in the next couple of days, as in an agreement in place, but it won't be officially done until July 1st. So that's my expectation of this deal. I think July 1st is what we're expecting for it to be done. We'll have a look at the updates and stuff that have come out this morning and late last night. As I said, this one came out last night. We discussed it. I understand United have now made an improved offer for Bryan Mbeumo for over £60 million. That was from Ben Jacobs. And Marco Alcaraz, saying United have sent a formal proposal to Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo, total package worth £65 million. Okay, but the stuff we've got from today is an update here from Rudy Galletti an hour or so ago, just saying that Brentford are already working on Mbeumo's replacement. So they're already working on who they can bring in with the money. A strong hint they're leaning towards accepting Manchester United's bid. United want the deal sealed by the end of June, but Brentford are holding the green light until their new signing is at least advanced. Not so sure about that. I think personally they just want the deal done right at the start of July. New financial year, and then they can go and get the new signing that they need to replace Bryan Mbeumo. So yeah, as long as it's done and concluded and exchanged and everything by the 1st of July, then everybody should be on course for a nice early positive transfer window, particularly Manchester United having signed Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo by the start of July. Turn our attentions to goalkeeper, striker position, other areas. So that's from Rudy Galletti anyway. There's also a report here from Fabrizio late last night as well, just confirming that we have submitted indeed a new offer, which he said this. He said Man United have submitted a new proposal for Bryan Mbeumo, who remains a priority target. The proposal was sent over the weekend, and it's in excess of £60 million. Discussions continue with Brentford, and Mbeumo keeps giving priority to United. Priority to United. That last bit concerns me a little bit, because I thought we were the only club that's actually in for him, and that's my understanding, is that we are the only club that's in for him at the moment. There were other clubs interested, but his desire was to join Manchester United, and probably a lot to the fact that he's going to get good money at United and guaranteed game time. But Jamie Jackson reporting that this is his contract at United here, so this is what he said a couple of hours ago. Bryan Mbeumo could earn at least 150k per week if he joins Manchester United, a salary in the same range as Matheus Cunha. So somewhere between 150k, 200k a week is what's expected. Have your say in the live chat, guys. How much is Mbeumo worth a week? But yeah, 150k sounds about bang on for me. Maybe with performance-based bonuses, could be getting closer to 200k a week. I've got no issue with having goal bonuses or assist bonuses and things like that. If these players are playing well, then you don't mind paying them a bit more. If they're playing awfully, then it'd be nice to not have to pay them quite as much. So that's the problem that we've had in the past. Performance-based contracts should be more of a norm at Man United, if you ask me. Players should be prepared to earn a good base salary, but then, particular positions, particular players, it's important that they still have something to strive for performance-wise. So bonuses is a good idea. But anyway, that's from Jamie Jackson, 150k a week. It's pretty reasonable. UK Strain says 120k. I mean, fair enough. It's in the region, but sounds like maybe a little bit low. I mean, end of the day, Mbeumo's getting a massive raise coming from Brentford here to Manchester United. Somewhere in the region of 3 or 4 times what he was actually getting paid there. Jamie Riley, how you doing? Elliot Dale Legends. If you're just getting in the stream, guys, smash the like button on it. Help us get to 100 likes. Give us a share around and get yourself subscribed if you're new. Let's go. Absolutely, Rogerio. We're talking about a toxic trio. Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho. As toxic as they come, they should not be allowed anywhere near Carrington. Hopefully they won't be, mate. Hopefully when the team reassembles again for pre-season, these melts won't even really be here. Hopefully it's probable that they will be, but at least some of them. But let's hope that we've got some deals wrapped up for those guys outgoing. He was going to be on 100k less than Mount. Let that sink in. That is mad, isn't it? Yes. No way he's worth 150k a week. Well, I think McKay's just made a good point there. You look at what Mason Mount's on and, Doris Latile is worth 150k a week. If Mason Mount's getting paid that, if Sancho's getting paid 300 grand a week, some of these players are, I'm not saying it's right, but obviously there's nothing crazy about Mbeumo's wages. It's not like we're giving him 250k a week. To be fair, if he was on 45, 50 grand a week at Brentford, which the report said he was, if he's getting 3 times that amount to play for a club that's way more than 3 times bigger than Brentford and has the global brand and the support around the world, and obviously there's a lot of extra added pressure and I guess responsibilities that comes with being a Manchester United player as well, such as all the extra sponsorship guff you have to do, photo shoots, whatever. There's lots of guff that goes on at Manchester United, right? The media work, all that sort of stuff is to the extreme. So you have to be compensated for that, as well as the fact that we're getting him and we're convincing him to come and play for us right now. United are not in a great position because of how gash we were last season. So for us to actually get players, you do kind of have to pay them reasonably well right now. Elliot's going 130 to 150. Disco Dave Udon says 150k a week should be a cap for all future signings. Will make it easier to sell them. I like your style, I like your style, mate. And if you do have to end up giving a player a new contract after they've been here for a few seasons because they've been brilliant, then it's more justifiable within the squad that they get paid the top bucks. That's absolutely the case. But if you were to just try and go and sign players for that amount of money, you're not getting any worse players, really. Yes, they might not be big stars. Yes, they might be the players that are stepping up to the next level, and we're the sort of the big club that they're finally joining. Like Cunha, like Mbeumo, these guys. But you don't have that same risk then when you're signing players from lesser clubs, players who don't have as big as a stature as the globally established stars. You are giving yourself a great opportunity there to get these players on a relatively cheap deal compared to, like you say, just going to give huge money to players like Casemiro and stuff, proven stars. It's dangerous to do that because now Casemiro's just here. There is a possibility, I suppose, he could go to Saudi. There's some talks of that going on, but he's on a sweet deal at United. He's probably not going to go anywhere unless he gets that same sort of money. So there you go. It does stop us being able to sell these players because of the wages that we've given them. Casemiro would probably be an example there. Yep, you just have to pay him the same as Cunha. Makes perfect sense. Exactly, yeah. It's got to be in keeping with him, really. If it doesn't work out, we've got to try and sell him. You've got to have parity there, don't you, Samakonda, with these players? You don't want to, come in and realise that you're on less money than somebody doing the same job as you with the same sort of status as well. If we get rid of Sancho, then his wages will pay for Cunha's and Mbeumo's. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, more or less it will do. Pretty mad, isn't it, Phil, how much Sancho's on? Yeah, that was a piss poor deal. £73 million we spent on Sancho and 300,000 a week. Pfft. Yeah, going to be on less than 100k. That was mad. The Yorkshire Cowboy, what's going on? You'd play for United for less than minimum wage. We all probably would. Oh, yeah, I'd 100% love to. I'd do it for free, lad. But they'd only want me for about 10 minutes because otherwise I'd be coughing up a wheezing lung on the sideline. But, give them a good 10 minutes, though. Oh, yes, better than Gashmas Boyland. But you're so right. I mean, this opportunity that these players have, they're taking it for granted. They're so spoiled. They just don't really understand how special it is to play for United. Gungshi, you legend, how are you getting on there, my son? I hope you're having a great day as well. It's the Don. What's your thoughts on this whole situation there with these gash bags, the likes of Jadon Gascho being on £300,000 a week, and us hopefully bringing in 2 players for the price that Jadon Gascho is being paid in terms of a weekly salary? It just goes to show you, like, the structure at this club has been absolutely just stupid for many years. So, yes, good call. That's why we struggle to sell players. And, like, if you've got these... So let's just say this happens. So, Mbeumo comes in on 150k a week, and he flops. I don't think he's going to flop, by the way. I think he's going to be absolutely amazing for us. His stats are incredible. There's only 3 people who scored more in the Premier League than him last season. Erling Haaland, was it Isak, was it? And also Salah. I think those are the only 3 players that actually did score any more than him. So you're talking about a proper baller. And, you know, obviously the wages are small enough that in a couple of years' time, even if he did flop, that you'd just be able to sell him. You know, that's the difference here, really. You would be able to sell him. He'd still be a very good player for a good standard team, and I'm sure you'd be able to sell him. But, you know, £300,000 a week, especially if it doesn't work out, which we've seen multiple times at United for certain players, and then it becomes like a complete ball and chain around your ankle, and you can't get rid of these players because nobody wants them on the money you're paying them. Yeah, it's pretty awful. It's pretty awful. Anyway, but there you go. That's how it is. That's how it is. But yeah, Mbeumo could be getting paid 150k a week. Brilliant. There are some reports as well that we're looking for, you know, obviously another player beyond that as a sort of striking option. Fab says Man United new proposal for Bryan Mbeumo. This is actually not what I meant to say. This is what I meant to put up on screen, which is from Samuel Luckhurst that says United want to sign another forward with Mbeumo regarded as more of a multifunctional option. The club intend to sign a new starting striker. So, yeah, I don't think that's any surprise to any of us. This is via Samuel Luckhurst from an hour or so ago, just that we're open to signing another forward. We're probably going to have to raise the funds in order to get rid of some of these, you know, get in some new players, get rid of some of these melters, see you later on Gascho, etc., and get some cash in. And if we can do that, then, yeah, obviously we need a new striker. I mean, I suppose we would have options there, even if we weren't able to go and get a number 9 this summer. We could be playing the likes of Xerxes. You could still see Hojlund staying at the football club, but that's an awful option. We could play even a front 3 that just involves Mbeumo or Cunha or someone at striker. You could even try and implement some sort of a false 9, I suppose. It's just ideal to get a number 9, though. We need somebody who's like a seasoned striker goal scorer up there. So, yes, we do need another forward. Surely it happens. Surely the bare minimum we get is a new striker and a new goalkeeper. Those were the 2 big problems for us last season. And in the other positions, great to strengthen extra, but it's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so that is looking good, guys. There you go. Anyway, Mbeumo, you know, it's Brentford are working on a replacement. We're reportedly paying around about 150k a week. Fab said that he's our priority target. Obviously, right now, we're just working on getting that over the line. And we have submitted a new proposal, obviously, over the weekend in excess of £60 million. So that's the situation there with Mbeumo. It's all positive. The expectation is it's going to be getting done around about the 1st of July in the new financial year. So we can all rest easy once that's done. But obviously, until then, the door is still open for anybody else to go in for him. Doesn't look like Spurs are going in for him because there's reports now that Spurs are now turning their attentions to Easy. We heard that they were interested in bringing in Semenyo if the price was right, but I think the price was just a little bit too much for them. Bournemouth asking for 65 million or somewhere in that region. They didn't want to pay that amount of money. But this is a report by Florian Plettenberg from half an hour ago. Says that Tottenham Hotspur are closely monitoring Easy and have already gathered all relevant information. However, he's just one of several players they're considering for his position at this stage. They have not activated his release clause and are also not close to. So, you know, he's another one that could be linked to Manchester United as well if the Mbeumo deal did somehow stutter. But at the moment, it seems like Tottenham are putting the feelers out there, just seeing if they can do a deal for Easy. And that would obviously mean that United have complete clarity to get the Mbeumo deal over the line. So there you go, folks. Interesting link there with Spurs. Could have a knock-on effect. Let's talk about this. It's, in my opinion, just a bit of a guff story, but there was reports coming out last night about Chelsea and Man United considering the possibility of Alejandro Garnacho and Christopher Nkunku swap, according to the Daily Telegraph. Oh, yeah, come on. Nobody wants injury-prone Nkunku. You know, he's flopped it in the Premier League. He was good before he came into the Premier League, but he's flopped. He's a flopper. We don't need any more floppers. We've got quite a few floppers. I don't want to take Chelsea's rejects and floppers. Look at Mason Mount. Was that a good acquisition from the Chelsea scum? Nah, it wasn't. So, you know, we don't need any more sort of floppy, inconsistent, injury-prone, you know, like floppers. That's the last thing we need. So this deal with Alejandro Garnacho, we'll get onto the Garnacho stuff now. It seems like there is a possibility we could look to utilise Alejandro Garnacho's value to transfer him away and bring in somebody else, maybe in a swap deal or just a straight sort of purchase, and then we buy someone off of you. We've spoken about Aston Villa. We've spoken about maybe the likes of Ollie Watkins or Martinez coming our way. We've talked about Napoli and maybe Osimhen coming the opposite direction. You know, that is something we could consider, obviously, because it makes those deals a lot more feasible, I suppose, because there's a lot of money involved in deals like that. But Nkunku, guys, yes or no, would you take Nkunku at Manchester United? Get your thoughts in the live chat there and have your say. It's a no from me, Carol. I wouldn't be interested in seeing this happen at all. What we need to do is just straight sell Alejandro Garnacho and get as much money as possible for him. Fair enough if he ends up going to Chelsea, but if they're prepared to pay 60 or 70 million quid for him, then get the money in and then we can reinvest it. We have to focus on ourselves, you know. So Nkunku is not somebody that I want to see coming in the opposite direction. They'd have to give us a significant amount of money as well. Definitely wouldn't want that yet. Exactly. Stop getting players off Chelsea and Dortmund. They've been selling us guff lemons. Oh, definitely. These lemons are rancid. You're not wrong there, sir. A swap with Watkins would be class. Yes, I'd like that too. No, says Yorkshire Cowboy. No, says Predator Reborn. Not interested. I agree with you guys. It's a no from me, Carol. So, Nkunku swap, no thanks. Sale to Chelsea. I would be prepared to sell Garnacho to Chelsea and open to it if they're prepared to pay the money for him. To Chelsea, the price is a lot higher than the price to Napoli. Let's be real. We'll sell him for 50 million to Napoli to get him gone. 70 million to Chelsea, though, is what we should be looking for because, well, he's a good 20-year-old player with bags of potential. He strikes me as a bit of a Chelsea player, actually, bit of an ego scummer, you know. I've gone right off of Alejandro Garnacho, guys. How dare he post that shirt, picture of him in that shirt the other day, and obviously his comments after the Europa League final. It's unprofessional. It's just diva-ish stuff. We don't need egomaniac melts like this in our club anymore. See you later on, Alejandro. Gone right off him. He is a great player, but he's a player that has his own interest, I think, at heart there. You know, he the way he talked about not being selected, you know, it's insulting to the manager. The way he talked about how shit United were in the season, literally using that word and stuff. Disrespectful. And then posting opposition shirts, wearing opposition shirts on Insta. That's the last straw for me. There's no coming back from that. So Garnacho, to me, as much as I like him as a player, I think he's been a great young talent, and it's a shame. It's a crying shame we're going to be losing one of our great young talents who could have turned into a great player for us. It's just like he seems like a bit of a dick, you know. That's the reality of it. Just seems like a bit of a dick. And you've got Sancho, you've got Rashford. They're a couple of big swinging dicks as well. And you don't need another one. We don't need another one who thinks he's CR7 in terms of talent. But he's actually who's a good example? Raheem Sterling, maybe. You know, he's a good level player. He's very good and probably will have a great career. Like Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's won loads. He had a great career. But is he considered one of the absolute best ever, or is he somewhat of a headless chicken? That's the difference here. I don't think Garnacho's going to go on and be Messi or Ronaldo. He does seem very, very good. And at times I thought, wow, this player actually is got the potential to be that level, but attitude means everything. Attitude's a big part of it. You have to have a good hard-working mentality and be professional. And I don't think he necessarily does have what he needs to get to the very, very top. But he is obviously very talented, guys. Come on. Very talented player. You know, just because he's done all this and he maybe wants to leave Man United and he doesn't fit in Amorim's system, he's not a bad player. He's a great player still, and he's only 20. There's so much more to come, which is why, if we were to sell him to the likes of Chelsea, we need to ask for a heck of a lot more money from them than if we were going to sell him to Napoli or abroad. because that's the reality. It's a rival, and he probably will come back to bite us. This is from Laurie Whitwell a few hours ago that says Manchester United have informed those interested in Alejandro Garnacho that his price is £70 million. Now, the price would be £70 million to Chelsea. The price would be less plus a player like Martinez, to Villa, or maybe Ollie Watkins to Villa. So if we could get Martinez in the deal, I think we'd probably take 25 million plus Martinez for Garnacho, to Villa. We're not going to feel it as much as him going to Villa as he would go to Chelsea. I think that could really cost us in the future. So Chelsea are a scum club. Chelsea have stitched us up for Mason Mount, and they've, obviously it's our own stupid fault for paying that, but still, I can't believe we paid 60 million for Mason Mount. It's insane. They've stitched us up with Sancho, giving us Sancho back after they had an agreement there, really. They bottled it. They didn't want to pay Sancho the wages. They knew what he was on and everything. So they stitched us up there. We don't want to deal with you, Chelsea scummers. That's the reality. We don't want to deal with you. If you want to deal with us and if you want Garnacho, you have to pay 70 million. I think that price tag is true for someone like Chelsea, and should be. But for anyone else, it's a bit less. And if it's outside the Premier League, then it's a lot less. So honestly, I would take 50 million for Garnacho. Guys, get your thoughts and opinions in there about how much you think Garnacho's price tag should be. Reports are United are looking for around about £70 million. I can't imagine anybody's really going to pay that. But I suppose Chelsea is kind of possible that they would get close to that, if they did want him, that is. Because, you could see him doing well there for a number of years. He is a talent. So, yeah. But the only reason I'd want him to go to Chelsea is if they're going to give us lots of cash to then reinvest. Because if they're prepared to pay 65 or 70 million for Garnacho, then that literally covers a top quality striking signing for us. Somebody like a Gyokeres, or, it doesn't seem like Gyokeres is coming to us, but I'm just saying somebody like that. So, so that's from Laurie. Well, 70 million price tag for Garnacho. Get your thoughts in. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Canute says 69 million. Any excuse there, lad. 60, 50 tops. He's going to go for 40-ish. I think we'll get more than that for him. 40 million is sort of Rashford money. The reason it's Rashford money is because Rashford's wages are so high that you have to factor that into any overall cost of a deal for a buying club. But Garnacho's wages are not that high. Nowhere near that high. So in terms of a buying club, they can get a much better deal. So you are going to have to pay more than 40 million for him, I think. Jamie says if we was the buying party, he'd be 75 million. You're so right. Goodness me. Imagine 2 years ago and this guy was playing for Ajax. We'd have spent 80 million on him. You're not wrong there. And Mbeumo, here we go. Soon Pig, also in Kuko, I don't mind the guy. No, he's a decent player, but they'd have to literally, like you say, that if they would give us 50 million plus him, it's not really a too much of a gamble, is it? It's not a gamble. It gives us an extra player up there who can play multiple positions. He could play the strike if he needed to. He could play he could play obviously the tens. So he would be a decent sort of addition, but it's not the right guy unless it's a cheap deal for us. And unless they're giving us loads of money. 60 million, 80 million, we are skint. Yeah, Guirassy from Dortmund. There's lots of interesting players linked. We've got Moise Kean linked. Kolo Muani as well. 40 million plus 40% sell-on clause for Garnacho. Interesting. 40% sell-on clause is quite interesting. Yeah, fair enough, because you are realistically going to get that, aren't you? Because he's only 20. So that's quite interesting. Your manager knew full well that what he was doing. Agent provocateur. Oh, get in there, Barbary Corsair. Well, fair enough then. I mean, let's face it, Garnacho just doesn't fit in Amorim's system. Where's Garnacho going to play? He's not going to play left wing back, and he's not a 10. So he just doesn't really fit in Amorim's system. That's the cold, hard truth. There's certain players that just don't. There's no place for Rashford now anymore because of it. There's no place really for Sancho. Like some players, these wingers, these conventional sort of wingers, they just don't fit in Amorim's system. You need to have defensive abilities and a real engine on you to get up and down and be physical if you're going to play a wing-back role. You also, need to have different qualities in the 10. You need to be great in tight spaces. You need to have that ability with those little through balls, those little flicks, holding it up as well, stuff like that in the 10. The wing is different. You're out on the wing, you're in space, the ball comes out to you. You usually got to take the fullback on and either get a cross in or cut inside and play a ball central or have a shot. It's a totally different sort of a vibe. Playing in the 10, you're like pretty much in the engine room, still. It's like an advanced midfielder. You're playing a lot of through balls. A lot of players are coming off of you. The wingers, you're playing in wide players. You're playing in, forwards. It's a totally different game. And that is why Alejandro Garnacho and Rashford, in particular, those couple of players do not fit in Amorim's system. So that's the cold hard truth, really. So, in terms of players to sell, it's always made sense to sell those sorts of players in an Amorim system. It's a bit of a gamble. Is Amorim going to be the man to take us forward long term? Will we, in a couple of years' time, if Amorim fails, look back on the likes of Rashford and Garnacho and say, oh, we rue the day that we let those guys go? I don't think we will, because of the attitudes of those players. But in terms of the types of players, maybe. Yeah, you'd rate Mainu more than Garnacho. Yeah, precisely. Mainu could definitely play the 10, you see. That's the difference. Mainu can actually play the 10 for us, whereas Garnacho can't. Mainu's got very good feet, very good vision with his, Garnacho's bit of his final product is very much lacking. He is very good at running at players, taking players on. He's a danger man. He's made loads of stuff happen for us over the last couple of years. He's a danger man. But his final product is pretty sloppy. And that's why I compare him to more like a Raheem Sterling as opposed to, a real, like a Messi. He's more of a Raheem Sterling. Yeah, McKay says, I think he's driven his price down. Clubs know we are getting rid and he wants out. That's a fair comment as well. If it was up to me and only me, I'd personally swap Garnacho with Osimhen. Love that. Smash a 1 in the chat if you agree. I would do pretty much the same as well. You know why? That Gyokeres melter seems to want Arsenal. He seems to want Champions League football. I get that. Osimhen, if he wanted to come to United, it would cost a lot of money per week, 350,000 a week. But if you're getting rid of Rashford and you're getting rid of Sancho, it's not crazy to expect us to pay that to him, really, especially if he's going to bang us lots of goals. And his record is very clinical, very good. Now, the Garnacho deal, 25 million plus Garnacho to Napoli, that's a sweet deal. They're getting 25 million. They're getting a great young marketable player for many years who's young and, will probably do really well for them over there. They just won the league. It would probably be a place that he would like to go. Osimhen's not happy there at all. He wants to leave. So it kind of fits everyone, really. It does fit everyone. We're getting a top-class striker, at least on paper, and he'll come to Man United and he's quick and physical and skillful, and I'm sure he'd tear it up in the Premier League, to be fair. He is a very good player in his prime. So I would definitely be up for it. I'd definitely be up for it. And we'd not have to pay too much money in order to get Osimhen then, because we've developed Garnacho. How much did we buy Garnacho for? We bought him from, was it Atletico Madrid all them years ago? A few years, good few, when he was like 16, I think, or somewhere around there. I think it was Atletico Madrid we signed Alejandro Garnacho from, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But we paid, it's nothing really we got him for. This is all money that we're going to just generate into the club here. This is like proper money created. 150k we paid. Is that true? Well, there you go then. So it's, absolutely, it's chicken feed. There you go. Just absolute nothing money, right, that we paid for him initially. So it's all just profit. 50 million quid, extra profit there, put it towards Osimhen. Then we've basically got Osimhen for 25 mil, which is not a bad deal at all. And yes, his wages are very high, and we do want to, I know it's a bit counterproductive what we were just saying earlier, because we do want to get away from paying players so much money. 300,000 a week, 350,000 a week, it's not really a good idea. But right now, to get a player of that calibre, remember, he is on that money at the moment. It's not like he's asking for loads more than what he's on. He's on that money over at Napoli. So if we wanted him, that's what we'd have to pay. And I would be up for it, considering that we could get the overall cost of the deal right down to about, 25 million up front. And then obviously, the millions a month for his wages is a lot. But definitely a good option. Definitely a good option. I still would probably rather think, well, sell Garnacho for as much as you can. 50 million quid, whatever you can get for him, 60 million, 70 million to those Chelsea comers. Get as much as you can for him, and then use that money to just buy somebody maybe Premier League proven. Somebody like Visser, someone like Mateta. That kind of makes more sense to me, actually, because as much as Osimhen would be an excellent signing, he's a star and a world star and all that sort of stuff, he's also very expensive. Whereas you could maybe utilise that money elsewhere, spend closer to 40, 50 million on a striker and then pay them a heck of a lot less wages, and then it's more in keeping with what we're paying players with this new idea, hopefully, with the wage structure of paying players closer to 150k, 200k a week, rather than going mad and paying players 350k a week. So it's one of those, isn't it? Depends what the club wants to do. Depends what the manager wants to do and which players he wants. To be fair, I mean, Osimhen would be very good marketability-wise for Manchester United. That's something to figure out. It's a Glazer shithouse signing for commerciability. Think about it. Like, obviously, Nigerian star brings a lot of interest in terms of African football as well. You've got that whole market over there, huge market, which they will like to tap into. They like to sign players from different markets and sell shirts all around the world. This sort of thing is something to consider as well. So they might factor that in. So yes, Garnacho is we're trying to sell Garnacho. Obviously, we know that at the start of July he's probably gone, one of the first out the door with what's happened, him wearing the Villa shirt and all the rest of it. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. By the way, we've just smashed 100 likes. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that thumbs up button on this stream. You're a set of legends. Help us get to 150 likes if you can. Every little like helps the stream out and helps us compete with clickbait, wank stains, and corporation monstrosities. So give us a massive like and hit the subscribe. And also, you can repost us on X. We'll shout you out in a few minutes' time there as well. And get your thoughts in Q&A at the end, though. There you go. We paid 420,000 for Garnacho. Fair enough. So it's basically just peanuts, isn't it? And so it's all money that's profit, and then we can put that money towards getting a new good player. Ekitike's a good shot, but he's a lot of money, isn't he, for what he is, I suppose, at this time. I suppose he could be one of the next top strikers, and so you're taking a little bit of a punt, but he also could turn out to be a Gashmas Boyland in the Premier League. You just never know. Okay, so we're going to get onto this sort of Gyokeres stuff as well, seeing as we're talking about new forwards, maybe Osimhen or, Vissa, Mateta, whoever. This is from Fab a short while ago today, just as that Viktor Gyokeres has already personally informed Sporting President Varandas about his decision to leave. No intention to play for the club anymore. Gyokeres wants new chapter. He feels heartbroken after exit pact and not expected to return to training, as this place reports here. So, what does that mean? Well, obviously, yeah, he was reported to have an agreement in place with Sporting, that like a gentleman's agreement, that they'd let him go for closer to sort of 60 million euros if an offer came in. And they've not honoured that. They've been quite stringent with their price tag. I don't think stringent is the right word I'm looking for here, but they're asking for a lot of money for him, £80 million or 80 million euros, somewhere in that region, which is a lot more, which could potentially price him out of a move. He wants to move to one of the top clubs in Europe. Look, Arsenal are assessing their options at the moment. They're understood to be very interested, of course, in Gyokeres, and they're also interested in Sesko, and they're sort of putting the feelers out for both those deals at the moment, and they're trying to get the prices down, and obviously Leipzig looking for somewhere in the region of 80 to 100 million for Sesko, 80 million wanted apparently by Sporting for Gyokeres. So these are just a little bit too much, and we don't want to spend that money either. If we were going to bring in Gyokeres, it would have to be for closer to the 60 million euro mark, 70 million euros max, which is about 60 million pounds, So they have to get realistic, really. Gyokeres is not happy at the way that they've proceeded this transfer window with asking for a lot of cash. And he doesn't want to be priced out of a move. He's apparently now told them and already informed their president that he doesn't want to play for them again, and so they need to try and sell him. So there you go, really. I don't think he's coming to Man United, really. I suppose Amorim would still want him. He's got that history with him. Surely Amorim would still want him. Like, let's face it, if Arsenal do sign Sesko or someone else and they don't sign Gyokeres, and Gyokeres is available and he wants to leave Sporting, and there's only a couple of clubs he could go to, and Amorim could get him, and Amorim could actually bid, or Man United could bid, then I think we'd probably be foolish not to go and get him, because that was our initial, well, it's a lot of the fan bases, one of their initial hopes for the signing of the summer for us. So, but get a yes or no in there, guys. Do you even still want Viktor Gyokeres? Yes or no? Because there is other options, lots of other options out there. And if he wants Arsenal, then, see you later on, son. And if Arsenal don't come a knocking, then, well, you've made your bed down, lie in it, lad. We don't want any sloppy seconds. But I still think, what a player, it would be good to get those sort of that sort of goal threat in our team, especially with the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha coming in. We would have a lot of goals. But then again, like I say, you look at something like Vissa, who scored a lot of goals in the Premier League last season. What does Gyokeres bring us that Vissa couldn't, for instance? Especially for a bit less money, maybe, and also the fact that he's Premier League proven. So I know Gyokeres is super physical and strong, and like he's quick, and like he's very, very impressive athletically, all that sort of stuff. But I still think we could go with the Premier League proven signing, and that'd probably be just as effective, because I don't expect Gyokeres really to come into the Premier League in his first season back here and score 25 Premier League goals. I don't really expect that. It would be a lot different than the Sporting, the Portuguese league where he's scoring 54 and 52. It'd be a lot different. So that's the reality. I mean, there's something to be said for Premier League proven goals, and that's why the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo are great signings, and that's also why the likes of Mateta and also potentially Vissa or someone like that would also be a very good signing. Or an Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins still got 15 or 16 goals or whatever it was for Aston Villa this season. If he's want away from Villa, or if they need to balance the books, we could do a deal with Garnacho going that way. Maybe Martinez as well. There's options. And then you've got goals, Premier League proven goals in your team, and it might not even cost you the earth. Whereas Gyokeres, it's still a little bit of a risk that he could come into the Premier League and do the bits. I think he would be absolutely fine. He's doing it in the Champions League. He's got that understanding with Amorim. I think he would be absolutely fine, and he scored a lot of goals. But also, somebody like Ollie Watkins would also almost guarantee you those goals to a degree, because he's doing it in the Premier League. So there's a few Premier League options there, which I think maybe make more sense in a lot of ways, because they're probably going to cost less money, and they're Premier League proven. They know what they're doing. We know they can do it in the Premier League. So let's see what you guys are saying. But I'm kind of on the fence. I don't even care anymore about Gyokeres. I just want us to get a good striker, and there's lots of them available, especially one with Premier League proven experience would be nice. Yes, Osimhen up top is a dream. Yeah, there you go. Well, if we can give Garnacho the opposite direction, that deal then becomes much more sensible for us than compared to the Gyokeres deal anyway, because it's less money. Even though his wages are a lot, Garnacho off the books, you're getting a cheap deal on Osimhen. No. I mean, Mitrovic, if we could get him on loan, I'd take him as a number 2 striker. Definitely Rogerio. Yes, for sure. But he's getting on a bit now, lad. But he was great a couple of years ago in the Prem. Shit the bed now. It is weird no one else going for Gyokeres. It's the price tag really, Kajendran, though. They're wanting 80 mil for him. 80 million euros at the moment. It's just a bit too much, and apparently they're standing quite firm on it at the moment, which is why, Gyokeres has personally informed their president and everyone that he doesn't want to actually stay there or play for them again, because they're pricing him out of the move. They're asking for a bit too much. There was an agreement. And so, look, this is probably one of those signings that's going to take the majority of this summer, even if there was a good offer that went in early, because Sporting prepared to play hardball to get as much as they can for him. They don't care, I suppose, if it takes them until closer to the end of the summer, if they can squeeze as much money out of this deal as possible. They want compensating, don't they? Yep. Does United need a striker type classic 9, a more flexible one? I mean, I guess we could go into it with somebody who could play, more flexible, like we said, like an Nkunku or someone like that. But my opinion is a number 9. We've got a lot of players who can play 10. We need a specialist number 9. We do, even just for certain games, and we definitely need a number 9. I still think Osimhen will come. Yes. Well, goodness knows. I mean, Rashford's on insane money. Gyokeres is no good. Biggest club in the world, so why don't we act that way and buy both Victors? That would be something, wouldn't it? That would be quite incredible. Goodness me. Amorim placing the second bid for Mbeumo instead of just paying the buyout clause for Gyokeres speaks volumes. Yeah, fair enough as well. That's absolutely fair. But the buyout clause, isn't the buyout clause for Gyokeres 100 million euros, though? I think it's somewhere in that region, which is, what's that, 80 million, 85 million pounds. So I think the buyout clause, correct me if I'm wrong, McKay, there's a lot of numbers flying around in this old dome here at the moment, lad, and I haven't been up that long today. So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he got a buyout clause of 100 million euros? Now, okay, obviously we're going to try and get him for a lot less than that if we are trying to get him. Same with Arsenal, you're not just going to go and pay that, are you? Hey, Lily Gamer, I know, get in there. I just saw that before the stream, actually. Get in there. Thank you, Lily Gamer. Yeah, big up, by the way, to Bobby Bounce and Fan Reaction Hub YouTube channel. They did a Fan Reactions World Cup this summer, pitting different fans' reactions against each other to decide who is the greatest fan reaction of the season. And I've only gone and bloody won it. Get in there, my son. Thank you so much to everyone who voted. Probably some of you legends, but also everyone on that channel who voted. Yes, I did win it. I am indeed the official Fan Reaction Hub, Fan Reaction World Cup champion. That's absolutely right, I am. Thank you so much. Please rain down trophies and love hearts in the live chat there. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know. Thank you. But seriously, great thing over the summer for that channel to be doing. So big up Bobby Bounce and Fan Reactions Hub. Quality stuff. Mikhail Kramer, I thought they went back on that because he threatened legal action. Yeah, there's something I read about that a couple of weeks ago. Look, I can't remember now, but they did have, I believe, €100 million actual release clause. I think what they were talking about, Mikhail, no, I seem to remember now, they're talking about some sort of gentleman's agreement or a verbal agreement, or maybe even it could have been a written agreement, I suppose, in regards to letting him go at a certain stage for a certain amount. This is why he's got the hump, because they had some sort of an agreement in place and they're asking for too much money. So I don't know. I mean, I think he's got €100 million release clause. Like, if you paid that, they'd have to accept it. But beyond that, I mean, that's a big figure that not many people are going to be prepared to pay. So, they have to get realistic and accept closer to €70 million, I think. And Nkunku's Premier League proven? Not really. I reckon he's a bit of a flopper in the Premier League. I don't know, look at his stats in the Bundes and then go and compare them to... Let me just do that right now, actually. I'll just go and have a little look-see. Why not? Let's have a look. And Nkunku's stats. Let's compare him. Let's compare his... Yeah, it's a no from me, Carol. It's a no from me. Let's have a little look. So this season just gone in the Premier League, 27 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. I mean, didn't play that many minutes, to be fair, and he is, like I say, quite versatile, where you can play him up top, you can play him out a bit wider, and, even at the 10 if you need him to. So he is kind of versatile, but, 27 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists. Pfft, don't make me laugh, that's awful. You go and have a look at his stats for the rest of the seasons here as well. Let's go and have a look back. I'm a stat man. I do think stats mean something, Moneyball vibes. If Mbeumo can get 20 goals for Brentford, he can get 20 goals for us. That's the way I look at it, Premier League 27-3-2 this season. Last season, let's have a little look at it, 11 appearances only, 3 goals. He's an injury prone melt as well. He's not even getting a lot of minutes here because he's so injury prone. Yes, okay, the season before in the Bundesliga, brilliant. 16 goals, 6 assists in 25 appearances. The season before that in the Bundesliga, 34 appearances, 20 goals, 15 assists. That's averaging over a goal a game in terms of goals and assists. But guess what? It's the shitty Bundesliga, mate. It's the German Farmers League. And loads of players look mint over there. Werner, think about Jadon Sancho. Think about Kagawa. Loads of players have come over and just shat it. It's easier to do that in the Bundesliga, so I don't want him, mate. He's not Premier League proven to me. He is Premier League proven, actually. He's Premier League proven to be guff. That is what he is. He's Premier League proven to be injury prone and guff and put up stats of a lemming. Do we want to sign a French Hojlund? I think not. I rest my case. He's not a good addition right now. We need somebody more proven. Get the old Moneyball stats man in and get somebody like Visser or Mateta or even Ollie Watkins. That would be better. Let's go. Disco Sport and learn the lesson from Sudden CR7 for next to nothing in today's market. Yeah, that's true. And even Bruno Fernandes seemed cheap in the end as well, so they are trying to get as much as they can. Osman in all departments better player compared to Gyokeres. Maybe so, but not in one key area, which is the stats. Gyokeres is a goal-scoring phenom, which has to be said. Obviously, Osman's stats are very good too, and I think you're right, he's probably better overall in lots of other areas. But in terms of a goal scorer, Gyokeres' stats don't really lie. To be fair, even if it's 80 million when you see the price of Ekatiko or Isaac, Gyokeres seems okay. Yeah, true. Hey, thank you everyone for congratulating me there. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm very surprised to have won that, to be fair. There he is. Fan Reactions Hub. Yeah, once again, thanks for holding that great World Cup of fan reactions this summer, mate. Great idea from you. You should do that every year, definitely. That's cool. And also, commiserations to the losers. But there can be only one. Yes, mate. Thank you so much, and great and big shout out to great channel there, Fan Reactions Hub and Bobby Bounce, there, legend. What's the prize for winning? Just admiration from the masses, lad. You know what I mean? Fan Reaction King, thank you guys. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Nothing on it. Yeah, I think that's what it was, McKay. I've got, obviously there's a lot of stuff going in and out this brain. I'm sort of like Homer J. Simpson, once I learn one new thing, it pushes another piece of information out. By the way, if you're just getting in, guys, we're going to be on here for a few minutes. Keep hitting the likes. Get us to 200 thumbs ups. That would be amazing. Give us a like spike and also get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're going to be on here daily with the United news. If there's anything breaking later on, we'll jump on. Of course we will, but also we'll be on tonight around about 9:45, 10 p.m. for the evening show, just covering all the transfer news of the day, regardless of the updates. Even if there's not that much, we'll come on for a chat around about 10 p.m. But if there is anything breaking, we'll get in there early. Let's go, Urbano. Yes, lad. We need new faces to the pitch to bring back our glory at Old Trafford, but the board is the problem. Always has been, yes, and the owners are gash. The owners are absolutely gash. Okay, so let's get into the people who've reposted us on X, and then I'm going to get into the chat for a few minutes, and then we'll basically, go through what we've discussed, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. But let's have a little look who's reposted us on X. Thank you to everyone who shared the show around. We've had 6 legends share it around. Thank you so much to Sanjay Ramatar, Paul Nangle, the Butcher of Manchester, Francois Koch, Jan S, and John Boy Cat. Get in there, you legends. Thank you so much, guys. Also, let's just do a rundown of what we were discussing very quickly. So, easy, Spurs interest. Gyokeres wants to leave Sporting. He's informed their president. Chelsea and Nkunku links. I think it's bullshit, but there are reports for, that Man United would potentially be interested, or at least he's being considered, the possibility of a swap between Nkunku and Garnacho, plus giving us some cash, I guess. I don't want us to sell him to Chelsea. That's the last club I want to sell him to. I'd rather sell him to Aston Villa and potentially get Ollie Watkins or Martinez back with some cash. Or to Napoli and get Osimhen and give them some cash. Or somewhere else and do something else and just sell Garnacho for as much cash as we can get and use that cash to invest elsewhere. There are reports going around, this is via Laurie Whitwell, that suggests United are looking for about £70 million for Alejandro Garnacho. Seems a bit much, but if it's to Chelsea, that should be the price tag. To anybody else, bit less. I think 50 to 60 is what we should be trying to look for him. If somebody offered us 50 million, I'd probably bite their hand off, to be fair, just to get the money and get rid of him and get a new striker in or whatever. Reports are United want to sign another forward as well, and Mbeumo regarded as more multifunctional. So obviously we're looking at a number 9 still. This is via Samuel Luckhurst. Fab said that Mbeumo's our priority, having submitted a new bid obviously last night, or yesterday, or in the previous days. The proposal was sent over the weekend, and it's in excess of £60 million. Discussions continue with Brentford. Brentford realistically close to accepting it. They might not. They might still ask for a little bit more, but I think they should accept it because they risk losing the deal. Reports from Jamie Jackson that Mbeumo could earn at least $150,000 a week if he joins Manchester United's salary in the same range as Mateus Cunha. That's from a couple of hours ago. Also, Brentford working on Mbeumo's replacement, a strong hint they're leaning towards accepting Man United's bid. United want the deal sealed by the end of June, but the Bees are holding out the green light until their new signing is at least advanced. So, they're looking at other options to bring in. Man United should just be looking to get this guy in and officially done by the start of July. So anytime soon, really, we could hear an official, not an official agreement, but we could hear an agreement from the likes of, Fabrizio or David Ornstein or somewhere along those lines that there's an agreement in place. And then it will probably be officially done at the start of July. And as we've said, there's more confirmation of more reports of the 60 to 65 million overall total value of the bid being submitted. Right, let's get stuck into the live chat for a few minutes. Legends, keep hitting the likes, keep hitting the subscribe if you're new, and just thank you everyone for joining us today. Wonder if Florian Wirtz will be a Premier League flop like Sancho. Hey, he could have the potential to be. And probably not, because he does seem a very good player, and they've spent so much money on him. Like, he's going to get so many opportunities, and I'm sure he'll be good. But could he be that good? Will he be that good to the point where he's doing what he was doing in the Bundes? Probably not, because Bundesliga's gash. And he could somewhat be like a bit of a Havertz type. Havertz has not done badly at times, but he's also not really reached the stats or the heights that he did in the Bundesliga. And he's also the sort of player that took a long time to adapt to the Premier League. French Hojlund, yeah, well, French Hojlund, lad. Nowhere near Rashford. Long live the pig. Thank you so much, guys. Legendary status in these streets is the prize. Yeah, precisely. Prize, pure pig ego. Exactly. Thank you so much, Endor. Yes, thank you, very much. You would have swapped Garnacho for Palmer. They won't do that, obviously. Of course we would do that, but they won't do that. Let's go, Mark Scammell. Thank you. Got it about Garnacho. I was hoping he was going to be a real star. Same. But like you say, he's acted like a spoiled brat. He's ruined it now, mate. He's ruined it. He could have been a great legend for this club long term, like the next Giggsy or something. You know, you think about Giggsy from a teenager coming through, you know, signed at 15 or whatever, and he's there for the whole time until he departs, you know, until he retires. That could have been him, but oh no, he's a shithouse. Will, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button, you legend. Nice one, Will. If they go and make that deal for Nkunku, serious question needs to be asked. Unless we're getting Nkunku for basically nothing. Like if we were to get 50 million or 55, 60 million plus Nkunku, and they're just looking to get him off their books, and it's like an extra body for us, it's not that bad. But if we're paying him reasonable wages, and if he's, you know, taken up a reasonable chunk of that deal, it just doesn't make sense. Nobody wants to even pay 30 million. I wouldn't even pay 30 million for Nkunku. He's not proven in the Prem, and he's injury prone. His stats are gash. He doesn't get a lot of minutes. He hasn't had a lot of minutes the last couple of seasons. He's just not really a great signing at all, even if he is cheap. So it would have to be basically nothing on the deal if they just want to get rid of Nacho. And with Cass going, get Ossie. Yeah, well, Cassie could be going, couldn't I suppose? It'd be nice. I still think he's going to stay because of his wages. So good at United. But if he can get what he wants over in Saudi, then maybe. Palmer had a bit of a tail-off, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, he had a great start to the season, but he did have a tail-off. Will there be any defensive signings besides the goalkeeper this window? There should be, shouldn't there, Disco Dave? Yeah, we should potentially be getting a right wing-back. We should potentially be getting a centre-back. Even a CDM would make a lot of sense as well. But I don't. It depends on how much money we got left. If we've got money available after we've sold players, you know, if we can sell players, if we can sell Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, all these guys, Hojlund, Onana, then yes, we should have cash available. But if we can't sell them, bit of an issue. Dick James says Bundesliga isn't gash. Well, okay, but it's really not that great, mate. You look at all the players that do well over there, right? Most of them come to the Premier League and flop. Some of them do all right, but it's not as good as standard. I mean, look, Jadon Sancho was a baller out there for Dortmund. You know, he can't string two passes together in the Premier League, lad. Let's face it, there's 3 good teams in the Bundesliga and everybody else are a bunch of farmers, lad. Let's just say it how it is. Whereas the Premier League has, you know, 6, 7, 8 top teams that could compete with the top teams in Europe. And then the depth and the overall competition levels in the league is just way higher. So, you know, if you don't like it, Dick, that's your problem, lad. But that's my thoughts. Players like Wirtz don't come around every day. Can't wait to see him in the league. Yeah, fair enough. Should be good, but the money's crazy, though. Still think there's a chance he'll take a little bit of time to adapt. Keep the flying pig flying high. Thank you so much. Sharon Atkinson says, congrats on the Superfan contest. Dump Garnacho pronto. Thank you, Sharon, you legend. The boys going to Spurs and Man United never sell that player for 70 minutes. Nah. No, we won't get that much for him, Josh. we won't get that much for him. No, closer to 50, lad. Bent over by Brentford. Thank you, Urbano. I'm doing all right, Griffin, and yourself. Highlander ref. Sancho has to be one of the all-time worst signings. Yes, certainly, because of his attitude and his price tag, 73 mil. We won't be able to get hardly any of that back for him in a sale. Might even end up staying and taking the cash out for another year and leaving for free. Gashford can take a lick of my... Oh, my God. Your attitude and personality is so important. Some of these players are just spoiled. Yeah, 100%. Bundesliga, one-team league, Richard James. There you go. How to sell if all overpriced. Difficult, isn't it? You have to do cut price deals, really. The wages are a problem, but if you factor that into an overall deal, like Sancho, if Sancho was on 150 grand a week, he'd be a 30 or 35, maybe even 40 million pound player right now. Seriously, even at his current state of gashness, because he's mid-20s, he's homegrown English, you know, there's a certain price that you just can't go below, you know. He would be 30 million minimum. But because of his wages, you can't sell him for that. You can't even sell him for maybe 20 million. You can't even get 15 million because they're going to have to factor his wages into a deal. Any up-and-coming strikers from the Championship that we could sign? I mean, you know, I'm sure there is. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of Championship football. Somebody mentioned somebody the other day. Who was it? Somebody came in here and said we should look at what's-his-face from the Championship. But I don't watch a lot of Championship football, and honestly, I wouldn't be looking at the Championship. No disrespect. I'm sure there are a few gems in there. But I wouldn't really be looking at the Championship to go and get our number 9 right now, personally. As soon as they leave the Bundesliga, they go to shit mode. Yeah, exactly. Have to sell at least 4 players in this window. His name is Richard, who's Dick. Dick's just a short name for Richard, isn't it? You know, and if somebody's going to act like a complete Richard head, you best believe I'm going to call them Dick. You know what I'm saying? Even Harry Kane has one in the Bundesliga. Oh, exactly. Look at Champions League. English teams get shafted up the rectum constantly, pig. Well, there you go. You said it, Godzilla, and you said it very evocatively as well. Daz Salford getting in on his break. Yes, you legend. Thank you for joining us on your break. Hope you're having a great day, Daz. Let's go. I'll just read a few more comments out then. Griffin, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, to my favourite United scummer, here's some dosh from your favourite scouser. Here's to many more reactions like Liverpool battering United 7-0. Thank you so much, Griffin. That's very kind of you. And I don't like the last part of your comment there, but, you know, hopefully in the future we'll be able to return the favour and duff you up 7-0 at some point. Not anytime soon, blatantly not, but maybe many years from now. Thank you so much, Griffin. Appreciate that one, lad. Let's read a couple more then, guys. X-Man, Sancho's on more than Luis Diaz. I know, crazy. It's actually crazy, yeah. Get back, lad. 0% ever again. Stop lurking. Rob, always United. Let's go. You just learned something today. Hi there, Rob. I hope you're all good, by the way. Yes, I know it is, Griffin. You're all good, mate. We appreciate you. We even welcome scousers around here as long as they're not complete Jamie Carragher spitters or dickheads. So don't worry. You're all good there, Griffin. Right, guys, we're going to wrap this video up. There's the lunchtime news. Thank you so much for watching and getting involved and having your say in the chat as always. Do smash the likes. It helps the channel out. Hit the subscribe if you're new. As a minimum, we'll be on here again around about 10 p.m. tonight. So click the bell icon, click the subscribe, and you'll be notified when we go live. But other than that, we'll keep you posted if anything breaks. If there's any big breaking news, like a Here We Go from Fab or a David Ornstein bomber, we will certainly give you the update. So keep a lookout, guys, and keep yourself locked. You can follow us on the links in the description there at Flying Pig United on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. The website, flyingpigunited.com. And just have a great day. Thank you so much, everyone. Mods, members, everybody in the chat who's got in here. Thank you so much, guys. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts in about anything we discussed. Nkunku, Sancho, Garnacho, Gyokeres, whoever. Get your thoughts and opinions in afterwards. The debate does not have to stop there. Thank you so much, Jamie, and everybody else as well. I'll see you in a bit. Have a great day. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/flyingpigunited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. patreon.com/flyingpigunited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.